A big pattern change, which I've talked about for quite some time now, is well underway across Europe, bringing a much needed break from the pest from the west while redirecting that precipitation to drought stricken areas. In this forecast, I'll be giving you the latest information on this pattern change as well as what's still to come. But right before we do get into that information, I have a special alert for my viewers in the United States. An extremely dangerous winter storm is going to bring heavy flooding rains and a potential outbreak of damaging storms across the south, with severe winds, large hail, and even strong tornadoes. Special live coverage will be made available between Monday and Tuesday on this channel with live radar, satellite, and severe weather warnings. For additional details on this winter storm and others to come, please look out for YouTube Shorts special live coverage and also written reports on my community tab. Things are cold and dry for much of northern Europe now, and for northwestern areas, this break has been particularly needed and awaited after months of relentless Atlantic storms battered the region. But even though most areas are enjoying drier weather, some very light precipitation is occurring in parts of Central Europe and southern Scandinavia. By tomorrow, we may even see some snow showers popping up over England. This is a custom graphic I made for Sunday through Tuesday, and this is basically the setup for these isolated snow showers. And very cold temperatures and winds sweeping in from the north and east will push any isolated moisture westward. For the United Kingdom, cold air moving over the relatively warmer waters of the North Sea will create ocean effect snowfall, so a couple isolated areas may see some snowflakes. This is the same phenomenon that produces lake effect snowfall in North America, with the only difference for the UK being that it's ocean effect snow rather than lake effect. Snowfall totals for the United Kingdom and Benelux for the next 3 days will be pretty light for most areas, with really the only areas of snowfall accumulation staying generally around 1 centimeter or less. We can see that across parts of France, Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Western Germany, where you see those faint blue shades. We may have an exception south of London, where many short-range weather models have insisted on a persistent ocean effect snow band, so we just might have a few centimeters of snowfall, especially on elevated surfaces. The UK Met Office has actually issued a very small yellow warning between London and Brighton for snow and ice due to that persistent snow band for Monday, January 8th. Going back to the weather model walkthrough, once we reach January 9 and 10, things will remain relatively dry across northern Europe, but we may see some snow showers diving down into eastern areas. As we push this forward another day or two, things will still remain pretty calm until this happens. Models have been very consistent with some kind of Arctic front dropping in from the north around this time, so once we reach the January 13th through the 14th timeframe, we may be looking at an even more significant blast of cold air and even snow across Europe. Focusing in on southwest Europe and northern Africa, most areas are dry for today except for northern Spain. On Monday, we see a new storm approach bringing widespread rainfall. This is a system which I've talked about recently due to the chance of snowfall for interior Spain, and we see just that occurring as early as Monday night into Tuesday. As the low pressure slides further inland into that cold air, snowfall will spread across northern and central Spain, with rainfall elsewhere. Things should start calming down by January 11th when the storm heads into the Mediterranean, but Iberia will have to watch out for the next storm threat coming around January 13th and beyond. Lastly, the Mediterranean is currently experiencing a storm system with widespread rain, storms, and mountain snowfall. As cold air works its way southward by tomorrow, wintry precipitation will move into the Balkan countries, with persistent snowfall and freezing rain over Ukraine and Moldova. By January 9th, the system will get suppressed southward even more, becoming confined to Greece, Turkey, and the Middle East. And then by January 10th, the precipitation will break up and become less widespread, but a new system will approach the region after the 12th. Precipitation totals across Europe, as we would expect, are going to be very light and isolated across northern areas, and because of that more active southern storm track, we're going to see the heaviest precipitation across eastern Spain, the central Mediterranean Sea, Greece, Turkey, and even as far south as Israel and Syria. Snowfall totals for this time frame will be widespread, especially in mountainous areas. For Iberia, we see some heavier totals across northern, central, and eastern Spain, which is where most of the cold air is going to be. Mountainous areas of southern France into the Alps will see snowfall in this time frame as well. And then moving towards the Balkans, we see many areas possibly getting snow as well, and not only in the mountains. The cold air will even be significant enough to bring snowfall as far south as the island of Crete, but that's going to be confined to into the mountainous areas. Southern Poland and northern Romania into Moldova and Ukraine look to get widespread snowfall due to that storm in the Mediterranean. And lastly, Turkey and the Middle East will get snow primarily in the mountains from that same storm. That's going to conclude today's European weather forecast. If you enjoyed today's report, please make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember that live coverage starts tomorrow for a major storm system in the United States, so if you're interested in watching that unfold, make sure you do have that notification bell turned on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.